Okay, so recently it seems that there's been a little bit of a situation going on with a VTuber cosplayer who has been actually kind of doing some stuff, in some chats, which I think is a little bit of odd behavior, which I kind of wanted to point out. And of course, this, VTuber cosplayer was brought up quite a bit during the Phase Connect drama as well, due to, her affiliating with them quite a lot, and it's to do with gumbun. Now, again, as this person has been brought up quite a lot lately due to all of that kind of stuff going on, but this time they've been brought up in another situation in a post by Trigger Point saying this is unprofessional behavior from someone who staffs conventions. Now, yeah, this is a Discord screenshot of them talking in a chat about a convention that they went to, saying seeing a guy with a dev happy at Fest was like 15 911s, and obviously they take a picture of it and they said, I meant Rev, sorry, I'm stupid, not dev. So yeah, they essentially, what they did was they followed this person around, took a picture of them, and sent it to their chat to essentially clown on them in the chat because, again, they had a Rev piece of merch on, which, again, as I said, I think it's extremely, weird behavior for this to even be happening because, of course, this person is clearly just a Rev fan. Now, of course, you don't have to like Rev, you don't have to like his content, and you don't have to like a lot of people's content, right? Whether that's a VTuber that's, not very controversial, you can not like their, kind of thing that they do, but I think it is extremely odd for you to be following someone who is very clearly walking, they're not stood still, they're walking about, and this is someone that I have seen quite a bit, whenever it comes to, people taking pictures of them. There's someone else that took a picture of them, and I didn't think of much of it at first because they took it from a long distance, but this is very clear that, she's, or whoever has taken this picture, again, I don't know if it's necessarily her that's taken this picture, but again, they're very clearly following them, right behind them while they're walking away and while they're walking about, which I think is extremely odd behavior, and of course, should not be a normal thing, right? And the funniest part about this is the fact that obviously Gumbun herself is a cosplayer, so she should know the kind of, I guess, the scary parts of people following people around at conventions and harassing them, right? Because this is an issue that happens all the time with cosplayers and also just creators in general at conventions that end up getting harassed and end up getting, pictures taken and end up getting, touched or whatever. And obviously it ends up, really, really bad, right? And a lot of cosplayers, of course, preach, safety and obviously preach about how much, they've got like boundaries and whatever. But then you've got her going around following people around the convention, right? If this was towards a cosplayer, people would be outraged. But of course, people are a little bit less outraged because it's just some random guy or girl, I don't know, I can't really tell, with a Rev piece of merch on, which I think is like just so odd, right? I think it's so odd, and obviously a lot of people have been commenting on this, including Legal Mindset, saying cons usually have the permission to photograph, which would generally immunize staff, but even recognizing that, this type of behavior leads to stalking / harassment. I've seen multiple photos / angles of the same guy. If it's all the same photographer, it would bolster that angle, which, yeah, obviously, they're saying that essentially, it might not be illegal as well. Obviously, it could be illegal in the fact that, stalking and harassment, if there is like multiple pictures and they have been following them around the convention a lot. But again, I think that even if it isn't illegal, in the fact that, you're allowed to take pictures at conventions or whatever, it's still extremely weird and odd, right? And I think that is the main thing that a lot of people are pointing out, is the fact that it's just weird. It's weird. You don't do this kind of stuff. And as I said, if it was done to a cosplayer or a creator or whatever, and you were following them around, taking photos behind their back, then, you would obviously be completely shut down over, on the internet, which of course is fair enough, right? I understand, it's 100% justified that, cosplayers are mad at the amount of creeps and weirdos that follow them around at conventions and things, and of course they deserve to be called out. But I also think at the same time, the people that follow random people around for wearing certain merch should also be called out, because, again, it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, of course, as I said, you don't have to like Rev or his content, and I think that's totally fine, right? But I think it is pretty, it's a pretty mature thing just to kind of just ignore it and be like, okay, whatever, I don't care. Like, I've never seen someone get so tilted over someone wearing merch of someone else, or not even, I don't even know if it's like official merch or whatever, but wearing a t-shirt or wearing something with another content creator on that you dislike, so you decide to just go around and follow them around the entire convention and just take photos of them. Like, I think it's weird, right? obviously people saying these staff members should learn to shut up and allow customers to give them money. Said wants to foster a tolerant and positive community, takes creep shots of people and makes fun of them, makes you think, which yeah, 100% true, right? People say I keep hearing this individual is employed / associated with Face Connect, which obviously yeah, a lot of people have been bringing up. Said the whole chat log, by the way, see something orange, and of course yeah, they said you won't. So see the guy with a dev happy. So a rev happy was like 59.911s, which again I think that's absolutely crazy as well. Referring to someone wearing merch and seeing someone wearing a piece of merch was like the equivalent of 15 911s. Like if that is actually the equivalent and you actually feel that way, I think you've got like a real skewed perspective on life. It really isn't that big of a deal. I don't think it's like 50 levels. That's crazy. Obviously, a lot of people saying, none of the words of the Bible. Said Magfest should be in the Bible. Said dev happy. They said, and then obviously, yeah, they've got it down here. They said, yeah, they had a Matara hat on too, which obviously, yeah, it's all of these people then like talking about this one guy in a chat, which I think is very, very odd, right? And imagine if you were that person. I honestly feel bad for this person, right? Because at the end of the day, they're just showing their support for their favorite creators, whether it's Rev, whether it's Matara, whether it's whoever, right? They are literally walking around wearing their stuff, and that's, totally fine. They're allowed to do so. And I think that, obviously taking pictures of them, following them around the convention, and then, talking about them, in the Discord chat, it's just extremely weird behavior. And as I said, it would be instantly shut down if it was to do with any kind of cosplayer or creator, which I think is pretty ironic, right? And of course, Gumbun not so long ago was saying stuff like this. I always hope to foster a wonderful community of face fans who are all kind to one another, loving and understanding. Well, let's be real, right? Are you being kind to one another, loving and understanding in this screenshot? I feel like you're not, right? And I do think it is one of these like extremely weird situations that, a lot of people have been calling out lately. Now, of course, there's been a lot of quote retweets as well to this, too, including Straub, who is obviously Rev's wife, saying, let's not normalize taking creep shots of people in public. You people are not the normal ones. And yeah, I think a lot of these people are pointing this out, like taking pictures of him, saying, look at him, he's so weird, he's not normal, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to be real, I feel like you're not the normal one for, how you've gone about this and how you've gone about following this person around this convention. I think it is so odd. And again, so many people are like, yo, this isn't normal. This isn't like normal behavior, right? And obviously people saying, yeah, wonderful communities where you and your homies creepily take photos of strangers and make fun of them for wearing merch you don't like. I guess the real tragedy was or will be her parents finding out her daughter is an evil all along. Again, I don't care about that part, but obviously it is very, very odd. Who said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're not part of the accepted, mentally schizo groups they deal with, they have no issue, remorse, or anything to what's the sort of about vilifying you, making fun of you, wishing you're death or worse. I'm happy more realizing, but wow, it took a while. Which obviously, yeah, I think it's extremely odd. Obviously, I said here, like, you'd think as a VTuber cosplayer, they would understand that following someone around a convention, taking pictures behind their back is not okay, right? And obviously, as I said, this is something that's preached so much within the convention kind of culture, especially at VTuber conventions and cosplaying, places as well. Do not follow people around. Do not take pictures of people when they don't want pictures to be taken of them. And this person is just broken both of those rules despite literally being a cosplayer themselves, which I think is absolutely crazy. And obviously Laura here saying, if you don't like someone, why would you go through all this effort? It's so weird. Said, yeah, very ironic for a cosplayer to do that, which again, I do think, yeah, it is very, very ironic, and it just doesn't make sense as to why you would be this mad about somebody wearing a piece of clothing, that you would feel the need to follow them around a convention, right? And again, it is one of these just really odd situations that I noticed in the past couple of days over on Twitter. And of course, Rev, I don't know if Rev has commented on this, but obviously, we saw Straub commenting on it. I don't know what he has to say about it, but I think it is one of these things where, I don't think you should be, harassed for being a fan of someone, right? And like, no matter who it is, well, I mean, maybe there's some exceptions in terms of like historical leaders and stuff, but in terms of like content creators and stuff, I don't think you deserve to be kind of followed around, especially for someone like Rev, who just says, some controversial things. But you know, at that point, you just go, okay, well, they've got that on. I'll just leave it at that, right? And that's it. You just go, oh, okay, that's odd. Anyways, I'll just move on with my life because, you know, there's bigger things in the world than following someone around wearing merch of a content creator that you don't like, right? I think it's incredibly strange and incredibly odd, but yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. I just kind of want to keep you guys up to date with what's going on with that because, again, I think it's very, very odd. And of course, yeah, it seems like Rev has been under fire yet again, obviously, ever since the whole advanced GG situation as well, which I think is crazy. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to keep you guys up to date. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code CASA, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.